Thank you, John. So if you got a slide in the deck, if you could convene near the microphone so that we can move expeditiously from one to the next. So Mark is our first speaker, and then Roberto and Edward. And so if we can just begin to form the queue. So Mark, the floor is yours, 1 minute only.
Does it work? Yes, it works. Thanks. Yeah, so the new kid on the block in integrated assessment modeling is non-state actors, cities, regions, companies. And we are starting a project, Achieve, coordinated by the Radboud University in Nijmegen. Birka Wieke, some of you might know her, she's professor there. And especially in the climate negotiations, they're talking already quite a lot about non-party stakeholders, or these non-state actors. It's even in the adoption of the Paris Agreement. And also now it's being mentioned in the scenario workshop outcomes, especially concerning subnationals and cities. And there's a lot of discussion about these voluntary agreements, which are still which are on the table. To what is the integrity of these pledges? But also equity and justice, credibility, transparency. How many investments do you need? And also you need near-term ambition. Well, at least to do that, we work with many social scientists and also on credits, but E3M modeling and us PBL will try to develop transition pathways for these groups of cities, regions, and companies in these projects the next 4 years. Thanks.
Thank you. Very good. And well done on time. Roberto.
Yes, thank you. Well, this is a project that officially will start next week. And basically the idea here is to produce the new NDC for Brazil. And let's say, make that NDC compatible with the LTS of Brazil, which aims to be net zero GHG by 2050. So as opposed to have a NDC and a LTS, so basically using our modeling tools, we're going to provide, let's say, one single pathway for Brazil to link the NDC to this LTS. Also, let's say this work will be used to, let's say, if I can say so, to force different sectors of Brazil to adapt, let's say, to this LTS. So basically the industrial sector, agricultural sector, the energy sector will have to be part of an integrated approach to the Brazilian economy. And the development of this project is that because Brazil will, let's say, thank you. We're gonna, let's say, because in 2025, Brazil will host the COP30. The idea is that year, Brazil will present a very ambitious NDC, and that NDC will be based on the modeling work that we're going to be doing here. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto.
Hi, everyone. At Byers, so here to introduce the Sparkle project, Socioeconomic Pathways, Adaptation and Resilience to a Changing Climate in Europe. It's a Horizon Europe project that we started in September. It's coordinated by IASA. We've got 12 partners, including, I think, importantly, Joint Research Center from the European Commission, who is the key stakeholder. In terms of the work, it starts off with climate modeling and emulation using MESMA, feeding into the Climata risk model. We also have development of new socioeconomic pathways to understand vulnerability and adaptive capacity. And then this will feed into the integrated assessment models, a number of the usual suspects and others. Bridging this all together, a program for stakeholder engagement. We'll also be doing development of kind of online tools and data exploration. And a key theme within the project is also stress test scenarios through the IAMs.
Thank you. Matteo.
Thanks for the opportunity. This is Matteo Muratori from NREL. David McCollum from Oak Ridge is also part of this project. The project is called DCARB. It's a US-focused project that involves 5 different national labs and the Department of Energy on top. And the main goal is to build internal consensus to inform strategies within the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy at the EU. So what's the role of energy efficiency? What's the role of clean energy transition at zero? One of the main things that we're doing that we thought would be interesting for this community is that we are leveraging a well-known integrated assessment model, GCAM. Probably you've all heard or used GCAM. But we're also doing a lot of soft coupling and integration, GCAM and sectoral models between buildings, transportation, industry, power sector, production, fuels, and hydrogen. So some interesting insights there on how we are coupling different models, different level of solution and accuracy. There are, was done.
Matteo.
Where's number 5?
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes.
Yeah,
go
okay,
ahead.
thank you. So let me introduce a new integrated assessment model called Witness. That's built on a disruptive simulation platform called SOS Trades. Both Witness and SOS Trades are open source, and are developed in the context of Linux Foundation project called Open Source for Climate. SOS Trades, the simulation platform, brings some cooperation touch to a complex system of system simulation. It's got a multi-user web front-end that's tracking changes, as well as formal assumptions and result validation by the stakeholders for cooperation in defining and agreeing the results. It's based on the state-of-the-art containerized cloud backend that scale nicely and automate interaction and feedback loops between systems. That makes it quite easy and flexible to add or update models. It also provides some state-of-the-art library for handling automatically classical simulation pattern like multi-scenario, design of experiment, multidisciplinary analysis, optimization, sensitivities, uncertainties, and all that kind of stuff. So this simulation platform allowed the development of Witness integrated assessment model framework within a couple of years, integrating many case systems such as you can see on the graphics, and population, economy, energy, damages, resources, public policies. The energy system especially is quite complete with a model of over 50 energy production technologies and over 15 carbon capture technologies with their cost, amortization, resources, consumptions, emissions, all that stuff. All these systems and models are fully interacting with proper feedback loops. For example, economy can only use the net energy produced, energy investment can only be what economy can afford, and things like that. The population growth impacted by climate change, which in turn impact economy. That means you have overall several dozen thousand coupling variables that are handled automatically that way.
I think we have a violation of the 1 minute rule.
Thank you very much. Time is up. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just to conclude, as it is an open source project, we are fully welcoming cooperation in the community. You can check the OS Climate GitHub page for all the details to jump about.
Zoom.
Thank you. All right, I'm here to announce release 11 of the PTAB database. Let me highlight some of the issues that will be relevant for this community. First of all, we have a new reference here, 2017. So that will line up actually nicely with the GDP projection. I believe. Also have a 20. We also have the time series. We have a lot of new countries from Africa, and so we've increased the number of countries by 20. We've updated the methodology for energy use and other air emissions. That will be, again, something that would be of use to the community. We have, of course, the regular database extensions, including the power database. The circular economy database, there's been a lot of talk about that at this conference. We should be collaborating on that. And we have a new satellite account that is tracking nutrition indicators. So hopefully it will get. Thank you.
Thank you. Shinichiro, you're back on deck.
Okay, so this is just an update of our Japanese modeling intercomparison project. And yeah, we have just submitted the very recent study to the ELL, and now it's in review. And yeah, JMIP has also another label as EMF 35. And we basically, we operate this committee by 3 members, Masa Sugiyama, Ken Wada, and I myself. And yeah, we have 5 models in Japan, and we are doing model intercomparison. And we would like to contribute to national scenarios SWG. And currently, this activity is sustained by Ministry of Environment of Japan, and I do hope that we would be able to get the same funding in the next. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So World Trans is a Horizon Europe funded project led by the Norwegian Meteorological Institute. It's building a new integrated assessment model based on systems dynamics, and the key focus is on the feedbacks between different components of the human Earth system. So it's going to be a little bit less process detailed than a lot of existing IAMs, but it's going to have more interaction between the different components of the system. So climate, population, GDP, food and land use, financial sector are endogenous. So climate is affecting other parts of the system, for example, impacts rather than an aggregated damage function. And we're also investigating using sort of novel economic model as a finance system containing stocks, flows of money, banking, and investment. Thanks very much.
Perfectly timed. See, who's next? Yeah, so I think this is an online.
Yeah. Is Stefan Pico online? If so, can you show him or at least allow him to speak? Okay, they're gonna jump in the next one.
Okay, yeah.
This project is just approved yesterday and focused on China. And the aim is to support decision-making in China for 3 key targets. One is to achieve carbon neutrality. Second is to implement 2035 adaptation strategy. And third is to achieve biodiversity target for 2030 and 2050. So we are convening a group of experts from the IAM, from adaptation, and from the biodiversity, and try to develop a IAM that will support that decision-making process in China. The idea is to couple the IAM with Earth system model, and also to develop adaptation module, and to bring the biodiversity information into the modeling framework. Thank you.
Perfect.
Here he is again. Another leaper.
Right. AgMIP, agriculture model intercomparison project has been done over the past decade, and we have series of AgMIP studies, but I think now it's phase 4, starting from last year. The new focus is dietary shift, which we get a funding from the Eat Lancet Commission, 2.0 commissions. And the main focus is, as I said, how the dietary change would influence on the agriculture market. And we have a sub-study using the same platform, which is ozone concentration impacts on crop yield and its consequence on food security. And we have multiple integrated assessment models and agricultural economic models provided by the organization, which is shown in this slide. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Hyung-Sik Choi from Korea Environment Institute. So our project is development of global integrated assessment model. Our name is already decided, Unicorn, so Unified Climate Options Nexus. I hope our model become more famous. And so this project funded by Korean Environmental Ministry and Technology Institute. And then started last year and this year, second year. And for next 3 years will be very important. And then so we will actually have a national scale model. This is based on CGE and global CGE framework, and then power sector and then industry sector and transport sector bottom-up model will be integrated, and we hope to produce very interesting scenario within this project. I hope more interaction with the global leading groups. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very happy to introduce the Ariadne project, which goes into the second phase. It's about the German energy transition, which has the aim of climate neutrality by 2045. It's a big consortium, mostly German partners, but also a few international ones like PSI and YASA, running until 2026. Why is it interesting for the wider global community to look into this global energy transition? The key point is that this 2045 climate neutrality target with no nuclear and at the same time also with very little CCS basically means that we have 22 years in Germany to go to a pretty much 100% renewable-based energy system, which really raises a number of questions that are of broader interest, such as like how such scenarios look like, the pathways. We can do deep dives on specific challenges like hydrogen, e-fuels, etc. We do impact analysis on environmental impacts, distributional impacts, etc. And also the kinds of policy instrument analysis that are interested in this very extreme environment to induce this extremely rapid pace of change. And that's stuff that we learned for the global transition as well. Thank you.
Thanks.